Hello Yoshi players out there, I'm Yoshi Bear and welcome to another thrilling installment of Let's Tackle. And let's also welcome back a game character I reviewed a couple times, Crash Bandicoot. That's because after a break, I've decided I'm going to go back and take a look at another Crash Bandicoot game. And today we're reviewing Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex.
Wait!
What?
What about Crash Bash?
What do you mean about Crash?
You're supposed to review that game first!
Okay, let me address something. I know there's a lot of people that want me to review Crash Bash, but to be honest, there's not that much to say about it. It's just a simple little party game. I'll say this though, it's a decent game with lots of fun, though I recommend playing it with friends. Is that enough?
Alright, fine, go back to your review.
Crazy fanboys these days. Anyway, let's take a look at Crash Wrath of Cortex, but before we begin, let's talk a little bit of history about what happened with Naughty Dog. After the release of Crash Team Racing, Naughty Dog had to let go of Crash Bandicoot because they only had one contract that was only allowed to make 3 games. I suppose you're like, oh, but they made 4 games. Well, Crash Team Racing was made around the same time as Crash 3, so they just decided to finish both before Naughty Dog left. So, now that Naughty Dog was out of the picture, Universal Interactive Studios had to find another development studio to create the next Crash Bandicoot game. And since next-generation consoles like the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube were around the corner, they felt like they needed to bring a next-gen Crash Bandicoot game to the systems. So they got Traveler's Tales onto the mix, and now we've got Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, the first Crash Bandicoot game that Traveler's Tales ever made, the next one being Crash to Insanity, which we'll take a look at later. But here's the question, can Wrath of Cortex live up to the qualities that the original Crash Bandicoot games had? Well, let's just take a look at the story. So I guess the story this time around is that Uka Uka and his minions have once again failed to destroy Crash Bandicoot. It is until Cortex reveals he has a secret weapon planned, and then Uka Uka suggests that the only way to complete his secret weapon, he has to summon elementals. These elementals are 4 magical masks with each different powers based on the different weathers of the earth. Fire, water, earth, and air. With this, a lot of natural disasters begin happening, and Crash and his friends have to embark on a journey to find all of the crystals and stop Cortex and his new secret weapon, Crunch, who is actually a brainwashed Bandicoot instead of a secret weapon. Are you trying to lie, Cortex? Is Crunch really a secret weapon? Did you just make him? Did you brainwash him? Whether it was Crunch, we never saw him in the previous games. How come he knows Crash and his friends? I don't get it. Yeah, the story is a little bit confusing, and I know stories aren't always supposed to be the best part in these Crash Bandicoot games, it's always the gameplay. But the story just kinda confused me. That's not the only problem I have with this story though. First off, just look at this. Yeah, I don't like these character models. They look unfinished, and some of them look really, really ugly. I suppose the only model that looks okay in this game is Crash. The others look unfinished, or just ugly. I suppose there are some nice backgrounds in this game, and it is very colorful, which is one positive thing I can say about the game, is that it does look decent. Aside from the character models, the backgrounds actually do look really colorful. Okay, it's not the best looking game on the PS2, but I think it does hold up. I should also spend a minute to talk about the music. The music in this game is actually really, really enjoyable as well. You'll love listening to different tracks in this game, but I think I may have discovered a problem. Despite the tracks actually being enjoyable to listen to, some of them are out of place. I mean, that's not a bad thing because, you know, most of the tracks in other games don't have to be in the rightful place they're supposed to, but still, there's some music that shouldn't fit some certain parts of the levels. It just doesn't make sense. But, with that out of the way, let's just take a look at the gameplay. So Wrath of Cortex largely follows the same gameplay that Crash 2 and 3 had. You're in this huge warp room, you have to go to at least 25 levels, or 30 if you count the bonus levels, and you have to try and collect all the crystals while trying to find your way through the level, and also find some hidden goodies. I would have liked that, except that for the majority of the game, it feels too similar to Crash 3. I mean, with the vehicles and the abilities and all the different things that make you feel like you're playing a clone of Crash 3, except with a different story and, oh, I don't know, different graphics. Before I get to other gameplay styles though, I'm just going to take a minute to talk about Crash's controls. Now, Crash's controls in this game aren't bad, but just pay attention. They are passable at best, and at worst they're really, really annoying. I mean, the gameplay doesn't feel as tight as the previous Crash games, and sometimes feels on the same level of gameplay as Crash 1. But like I said, the biggest problem with the gameplay is that even though I think the controls are passable for a PS2 game, there's some instances where I thought I was going to die and I thought I wasn't going to be able to time my jumps properly because of Crash's controls. This has caused me to die way too many times, and I don't like that. Controls are supposed to be tight and it's supposed to keep you hooked on the game. I would also appreciate these levels, but the problem is, the levels lack any variety. I mean, there are enemies here and there, yeah, but some of them are recycled, and nitro boxes are literally everywhere in these levels. Yes, every level at least has to have one nitro or some certain sort of object that is just repeated, and it's really not that challenging. Even in the death routes, there's just a bunch of nitros everywhere, and it's not challenging in the slightest. I just find it really boring and really tedious. But now, let's get to my biggest gripe with this game, which I'm sure is a lot of people's gripes with this game: the vehicle stages. There are way too many vehicles in this game. There are way too many vehicle stages in this game. There are at least 16 vehicles in total, and I think there's more than double of that of how many levels there are. Some levels do have a mixture of both, but I just want to spend a minute to play with Crash and his abilities. Oh, and speaking of the abilities, all of Crash's abilities are there, except with one new one, the Tiptoe. This is an ability, this is just a little lazy gimmick. With this ability, Crash can tiptoe over nitros, but I honestly don't understand. I mean, once you touch them, they're supposed to go boom boom, and it only works with certain platforming. The tiptoe doesn't feel like an ability, and you don't use it that much, so I just found it pointless. Crash started off with all of his old abilities and maybe gained some new ones in this game. I probably would appreciate it, but the thing is, even you don't get to experience Crash's abilities that much because of just how many vehicle stages there are in this game. Some vehicle stages give you no clue on what the hell you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to press X to fire? Are you supposed to hold it to charge up a fire and then shoot at it? I don't understand, especially with the flying stages. The flying stages are fine, but the problem is that planes move way too slowly. There's no button to make you go faster, and it's just really boring since there's a lot of things trying to kill you, and some of them don't do much damage. Once you find out they can crash right into you, you're like, holy crap, I better get going, but this damn plane isn't moving so fast. Now, I'll admit, some of the vehicles in this game don't control bad. I mean, there's the rolling ball, which I suppose isn't bad, but there's just one problem with these rolling ball stages. Since there's way too many nitros, you literally have to stop, go that way, stop, go that way, stop, just go around. If they made these levels like Sonic the Hedgehog levels, where you can just speed your way right through the levels, that would have been a lot of fun. But the problem is, since there's way too many nitros, it just feels like the developers didn't even try to test the damn game. There's some vehicles that didn't really need to be in this game, and some vehicles that were from the previous games I just felt worse in this particular case. Coco can now run around on her 2 feet, but the problem is she plays almost exactly the same as Crash, only with one new ability which really doesn't do much. And like I said, there's a vehicle stage where you have to get away from this giant wave, but the problem is I didn't exactly know what to press to go faster. It just becomes tedious. Let's also talk about the worst vehicle in this game, the frickin' submarine. This submarine has so many problems, but I'm not gonna rage about it. I'm gonna take this as calmly as possible. The submarine could be empowering, but the problem is, since the camera is so close on Crash, it's hard to see where you're actually trying to fire. Crash does have 2 attacks, but the thing is, since the camera is so slow, you'll probably be too quick to react before you die. You'll probably be too late to react before you're dead. If they made this submarine a little more empowering and maybe zoom the camera out a little more, maybe I'd appreciate it, but there's also another problem. The submarine moves very slippery, and by the time you do have time to react to something, you're probably gonna die as well. The submarine is easily the worst vehicle in this game, and I really wish it didn't even happen at all. The boss fights certainly don't help either. The majority of the boss fights in this game aren't that fun. The first boss is really frustrating, the second boss is boring, the third boss is meh. The only boss fight I really enjoyed in this game was the fourth boss fight. There's lots of things trying to hit you, and like I said, this is the only time where it's required for the plane to go at this speed so you have enough time to hit crunch. It's kind of fun, actually. But honestly, I just didn't have much fun with this game. And I know it's a problem, because I know there's a lot of people that like this game, but honestly, that's probably when you were a kid. I did enjoy this game when I was a kid, but now I really think this game does have problems. Like I said, kids are easy to entertain, but this game really didn't bring me back to the glory days of when I first played this game as a kid. The problems this game have are very, very majority, and there's little things I actually liked about this game. Aside from the neat looks and the fourth fun boss fight, there really isn't that many things I like about this game. There's too many vehicle stages, the controls feel a little bit slippery, it's not that challenging, there are some bits that feel really boring, the character models are completely ugly and unfinished, and to be honest, there's just not that many things I like about this game. Do I think it's the worst Crash Bandicoot game? No. But for a beginning game that first happened on the next generation consoles, I really think this game should have done better. Oh, there's also another problem. The load times. These load times take forever. My version took about 40 seconds to load the damn level. And by the time you exit out, realize you entered the wrong level, and then go back, it's gonna take forever for you to get somewhere. So with all that telling up, it's finally time to talk about my score. I'm gonna unfortunately have to give this game a 3 out of 10. Like I said, there just really wasn't that many things I enjoyed about this game. And for the first PS2 Crash Bandicoot game, I really think this game should have done better. But hey, maybe Traveler's Tales learn from their mistakes. I mean, we did get Crash to Insanity. Is that game good? Are we gonna review it? Next time.